Legal.
Today's guest is more than a lawyer. He's a legal strategist, a corporate leader, and nation builder. Advocate Canaan Dube is the Dube in Dube, Manikai and Wacha, one of Zimbabwe's most respected law firms. He's a former president of the Law Society of Zimbabwe. He sits on several listed company boards and is the lead author of the National Code on Corporate Governance. He's got decades of experience across courtrooms, boardrooms, and legal education. All of that is to say we are truly honored to have him here with us, and we're about to receive a wealth of wisdom. I'm so excited, and I hope you are. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, Rumbi, and thank you for having me.
All right, so let's jump right into it. I think it's interesting how, we focus on what people do, the titles that they have and their achievements, but we rarely see how they think and how they see life. And, I think our mindset shapes everything that we do. And so if you allow me, sir, I want to begin by stepping into how you think. What has shaped your mindset? Has it always been sharp and intentional, or was it something you had to develop over time?
Very interesting. You see, who you become is a combination of who you are and the environment which predominantly, revolves around you. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I hail from the rural areas. Mm-hmm. That's where I was born, grew up there, mm-hmm. and only came to town when I was now seeking my secondary education. How does that answer your question? The humility of being in the rural setting, mm-hmm. and the surprise which is sprung at you when you are in a totally different environment, totally different colleagues and peers, then defines your journey forward. Okay. And I must say, the desire never to live a life of the peasant child, mm-hmm. is what defined, mm-hmm. who I had decided to become. Never to go back to suffering, mm-hmm. and live a life better than what I was living as I was growing up. Mm-hmm. That was the central philosophy which guided me.
So, okay, that's an understandable background, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, now that you've reached success, and you're doing a very good job at maintaining it, I think DMH is one of the biggest firms in Zimbabwe. And, even though there's so much that's happening, new law firms are coming up, it's still maintaining. So we now just want to find out, what is something that people have misunderstood about success? Is it something that's about intelligence, or what inner shifts need to happen in our minds for us to be able to then be successful?
It depends. Success is an outcome. Okay. We can be viewed from two angles. The first could be subjective. Success could be personally felt, which is personal development, walking past markers in time which you define yourself, or objectively assessed by others. Okay. Sometimes success is difficult to define because it's a function of time, it's a function of goal setting and goal achievements. Mm-hmm. And speaking for my own situation, I think success I define by the degree to which you become better than what you are today. Mm-hmm. And only you can define what you desire to become. And if you achieve that is success. Mm-hmm. I hate the feeling that people think success is all to do with money. It isn't. Mm-hmm. In fact, money kills success. Okay. Yeah? Money is an enabler. Okay. Where it is required. But where it is not required, don't use it.
Okay. Okay, so you have your main focus is more commercial and corporate, and I think we've then seen that law firms as well can be more than just more of assistance with legal things, but it's more business minded as well. So I just want to find out, what was that transition like? When did you maybe decide that being a lawyer was not enough per se. It wasn't just about learning the law, but it needed a bigger thing. It needed more.
Okay, when I went back to school after my 2 law degrees, I chose deliberately not to do a master's in law.
Okay.
I did a master's in business administration. It was a choice I thought would enable me to understand that law isn't enough. And law which does not relate positively to the needs of the society it serves, the clients it serves, is bad law in my view.
Okay.
So the shift from the legal space to more than legal helped me to create a new worldview, which said, do you teach law after coming out of the law school? Do you practice law? And guess what? I came to the conclusion that you don't practice law.
Oh, okay.
You practice business solutions.
Oh, okay.
Law is just an enabler. And if you are going to bring a business problem and you get a legal solution, you are not growing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, that's very interesting so that you've said that, because I have a follow-up question. So is that to say that lawyers absolutely need to be business-minded? Because I think the way that we are learning, we learn about the law, we learn to analyze it and how to give advice, but people aren't really talking about how to build something that we are not learning entrepreneurial skills. So, is it necessary then for a lawyer to have all these skills?
It's necessary to be a rounded lawyer, right? But it's even better if you are beyond the legal circles, but having the background of being a lawyer.
Okay.
What do I mean? As I speak to you right now, I don't teach law, but I'm a lecturer.
Okay.
But I teach leadership. And when I come back to my chambers, I'm not talking clients. I'm talking leadership. I'm talking how should the law firm become a better entity in leading the fraternity. What do I mean by that? 3 of my colleagues, including me, have gone through the Law Society as presidents.
Okay.
So we are not just ordinary lawyers. We are leaders who are lawyers.
So how do you become a leader of lawyers? What are the qualities, or what should you be working on? Because I think the legal space that we're in, everyone who does law sort of has some some leadership background. If there are people who are assertive, talkative, some may even say, but that's the sort of space that you're in. So how do you then go the step further, especially in a space that's pretty saturated? I mean, if we're looking at the University of Zimbabwe, there are about 400 law students that are taken in every year. So you can imagine now we're looking at all the other universities in Zimbabwe. It's going to produce a big number of leaders. And so in that kind of space, how do you then step outside and be the leader of the leaders?
First and foremost, a very interesting statistic. 400. When I was doing my first year in 1977, we were only 42.
Oh.
And in that class, we were only 9 blacks. Okay. The rest were whites. So it has jumped to that number.
It's a big number now.
Very, very interesting. How do you become a leader in a profession which is saturated, if I got you right? Who defines saturation?
Oh.
Yeah. Perhaps what you see as a saturated profession, it's not. It all boils down to the choices you make. If you want to be an ordinary general lawyer who is practicing criminal law, family law, which is done by everybody, then saturation may be relevant.
Okay.
But if you make the choice, which DMH did, to say we shall not be into everything, we chose to be commercial lawyers and to be number 1 in class in that space. And to be number 1, you have to work hard. Yeah, number one in class, you are not saturated. You are very few.
Oh.
Yeah. So there are so many law firms who followed our path, and we are grateful for that. But they are not number one in class. They are for everybody who comes because they are chasing the wrong thing. They are chasing money.
Okay.
We are chasing a contribution which is significant, building the Zimbabwe we want. The Zimbabwe which will talk positively about you after you are gone. That is the philosophy for the law firm. Yeah.
So I'm happy that you're now bringing the country, Zimbabwe, into this conversation, because that's where I was going to go next. Because I think, so they're on two fronts where I want to ask. So I'll start with the more economical thing. People get into the law for monetary success. And we've already said, yes, money is not everything, but it is an enabler. It allows you to do certain things that ordinarily you wouldn't have been able to do. So making certain changes in your life, in the lives of others, you do need the money for that. And so, again, there's a pretty economically difficult space that we're in Zimbabwe, struggles that are being faced. So again, what is something that, what advice would you then give to someone who says, I've got an idea, I'm ready to be number one in this, but I'm finding that it's difficult to maybe maintain my life and also do that thing because of the costs that come up.
Yes. Rombi, let me be very honest with you. Money does not precede a good idea.
Okay.
Right? Ideation must lead to something unique as an outcome. If your idea is unique, money follows a good idea. I can tell you, DMH, we started 27 years ago, coming from big firms. We didn't have money, but we just chose that we want to be a significantly different law firm from the rest. And the rest is history. Money followed us. In 6 months, we were not looking back. So don't put money first as an impediment.
Okay.
Yeah, good ideas will clear the way for you.
So how do you say, I'm understanding you and I appreciate what you're saying, but I think it's difficult to imagine, again, unfortunately or fortunately, we are in a space where it's all about maybe who you know, right? In a moment, you might have a good idea. What are you supposed to do with that idea?
Okay, I think you're right. Networks and connections do come into play when you are seeking assistance, not necessarily monetary. So networks then create value for you. But it is the choice which is important of who you network with. If you network with people who drag you back, that is the end of you. So the choice is important, and never choose people who are below what you expect.
Okay.
Yeah?
So
always look up.
Yes. I want to now come into the legal sort of side that we have in Zimbabwe.
Sure.
Right? Is Zimbabwe... so people talk about it as, a place that's a foundation and a barrier. Right? We have laws that are meant to provide structure and protect rights. But on the other hand, it sometimes feel like they're just extra hurdles and that are actually slowing down progress. So from your experience working closely with corporate law and corporate governance, do you see that the legal framework in Zimbabwe is one that genuinely enables personal growth economically and entrepreneurial, or do they sometimes stifle people who are trying to grow?
Very interesting. But you are at the law school. It takes me into jurisprudence.
Okay.
Is law ever necessary in a well-ordered society? No. So it is our misbehaviors which have invited regulation on what we do.
Okay.
So to me, and I preach self-regulation ahead of external regulation. And in the corporate governance space, which I also have an interest, I've always said personal governance is way, way superior to corporate governance. So who you are is very important in creating the space for self-regulation. To answer your question, external regulation, which comes in the form of laws, policies and regulations, that's stifling in Zimbabwe, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. The number of fees you pay to get registered, and the number of times you have to go back to the law society to pay this and that, and that stifles personal growth and growth in the correct space of normative behaviors. And right now, it's a topical issue, if you remember, that ministers are saying, no, there's need for us to cut down on how you enable business in Zimbabwe. Yeah, there's talk about Zimbabwe is open for business to everybody, but is it indeed open for business? It's not.
It's not, yeah.
It's not. So there is a rethink, a rebasing of what law should be, and should we have as many? I think there is a story, an argument for scaling down, and even to try and focus on areas where really you need to see behavior of business leaders requiring coercion rather than persuasion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of, just maybe if you have on the top of your head, what kind of reforms would you maybe suggest?
Getting into business, young entrepreneurs encourage ideation by not charging, but by making funds available for incubating good ideas, funding them to get into the world of business without impediments, and also getting storytelling from those who have succeeded and saying, look, I started from nowhere, but here is where I am. So I just want a rethink on the part of policymakers or legislation to encompass and get everybody to be appreciated for who that person is and for what level he is in society. And once you do that, you will see that talent identification, incubating it and empowering it can transform this society, in a very short space of time. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And so you've worked with many lawyers, I assume. I think you've come across lots of lawyers of all kinds of walks and all sorts. So I'm curious, do you think our current legal system is preparing young lawyers to lead in complex corporate governance spaces, or are we still training technically capable minds in a world that now demands strategy and ethical and leadership?
To be honest, I think we are far behind from achieving what Zimbabwe as a nation requires in terms of legal skills. We are still talking about, let me give you an example of family law. But what type of family law are we teaching here? It's imported law. It's not, the law which our traditional forefathers and foremothers, were used to. And we have been colonized in our minds to think that received law is better than local law. And there's always viewed as a clash in favor of what is received against what is ours. There's African law, and there is Roman Dutch law. And what is superior there?
It's Roman Dutch law.
It's Roman Dutch law. Is that your law?
No.
Rumbi, I ask you. So you answer the question yourself. And you spend 4 or 5 years, learning dialect, right? Learning thoughts, which has nothing to do with, your local environment and the demands, legal demands, you see, developing.
It's interesting that you're saying that, sir, because I think everyone that we've had has had the same sentiments, that there's yet to be a complete decolonization of our law. For the most part, it doesn't speak to what actually is happening on the ground in our nation, and it sometimes even puts our culture as a side thing that we can refer to as and when the Roman Dutch law doesn't apply. And so I think there's definitely room, and I don't know who is going to do it. I think maybe my generation, we should start considering it, to then start working on that, because we will lose our culture as we go. I think that's something that's starting to happen, the culture erosion, because it seems to not be the most important thing. So what do you think would be the process for doing that?
I think let's just attack the ego of being inferior in the mind by virtue of the color of your skin, right? Back in 1977, I said we were 9, but we were actually 7. The other 2 were colors, but who then identified with us as colors. But we then said we want to demonstrate to these whites that we are better than them in their own space, right? And we said we will not speak substandard English, yeah? We'll read and read and read and catch up with them. And believe you me, in most competitions, we'll beat them. What am I saying? I'm saying just believe in the Africanness in you. No, don't copy other nations, right? And then someone asked me, and I hope it won't offend you, where did your children go to school?
Okay.
They went to private schools. Because it was then perceived as the best. And is it the best? I don't think so. The best and the most successful lies in the mind. And as a result, our kids will not be allowed in to the private schools. So that pushed us, the 21 lawyers, to start thinking about our own private school. So believe in yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't copy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Noted.
Noted.
I hope everyone is also picking that up, because I think that's very important. There's a lot of inferiority complex that's going on. And so I think it then pushes us into a survival of the fittest mode. Absolutely. And so we're straying away from the, Ubuntu, and because we need to survive. We need to survive. But I think someone is saying something, you're saying something, and I hope people are listening.
Sure.
So what's your assessment of this generation, the young generation, from what you have seen?
You know what? You are better off than us.
Okay.
At the time you've entered Zimbabwe, it's a better world than at the time we did. I went to university in 1977, and when the black skin was regarded as a second-class citizenship. And right now, independence has given you the freedom to be wherever you want, whatever time you need to be there. But guess what? Too much freedom also is a problem. And, wrong company, wrong behaviors, and if you don't choose and choose well who to befriend, you can befriend a person who changes your character immediately. Need I remind you of the drug addiction problem, which we have, not because people are pure, but because people want to experiment with their lives, their behaviors. And you can see that almost your crowd is facing decimation if you're not careful, if you don't listen, if you don't choose and choose well those with whom you associate. Yeah.
No, that's true. So, sir, we want to then, I think, as we draw to a close, the people, maybe these are people that are already lawyers or young people. So now we're just looking at anyone who is maybe considering business or is in business already, what key takeaways should they have from this conversation? What should they look forward to? What should they maybe start to rethink? If they had been doing something differently, what would you advise them to do?
In fact, to pick from what you said, they should believe that doing the same things differently is key. Mm-hmm. Doing the same things differently is key. Let me give you an example, which was a good marker for our success story is the law firm. We simply said, we will do the same things differently. Instead of a lawyer waiting for a client in his office, the lawyer would visit. And that was an instant hit. That people will say, I want legal advice. Say, look, we are getting there. In 2 minutes, we were there. And even when you are there, you look at letters going out. I remember in one experience, I saw letters which were with a letterhead private limited, and the directors were not listed at the bottom of that letter. I said, hey, there's a mistake here. Gave instant advice there. Said, look, you are going to be arrested. And directed that I'm not charging you, but the right thing is this. And again, that was an instant hit. What am I saying? Believe in that which you know, but there you must add a flavor of something different. Yeah.
But I'm a hard worker. I am dedicated. Can that person, is there room for this person in the top?
In leadership, we say, possibilities thinking theory says everything is possible.
Okay.
When you say I don't have ideas, you have. All you need to do is to imagine what you want to dream about being implemented. Philosophical, isn't it? And then once you do that, ideas will come to the surface for you. Yeah.
Okay. Now, thank you so much. I think you've given us answers and you've given us ways to think. I think it's definitely about our minds. It all starts from the minds, so how we see ourselves, how we want to see ourselves, the dreams that we have. It's all about putting it in motion. It may look like there's lots of people in this space, but it's about how you occupy the space.
Absolutely.
So do you just have any advice that you'd like to share before we call it a day? Get started.
Get started.
Get started.
Right.
Okay.
Be ignited right now and believe that when you want to become, it can happen. And it can happen and takes you to the next level. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for giving us this time and, allowing us to peek into how you think, how you lead, and how you build. It's been an honor. And to everyone listening, this conversation wasn't just about the law. It was about vision, discipline, and the architecture of power. Sure. It was about the psychology of leadership and what it really takes to create something that endures.
Great.
So even in difficult times. So I hope you were taking notes, but more importantly, I hope you're going to start actioning some of these insights and principles we heard today.
And join the conversation. And make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any updates. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you soon on
That's my legal.